What's going on? I'm Zach. I'm an accountant, and this is your second stimulus check and unemployment benefits and EIDL update. I have a lot of common questions here. I want to clear all the myths, all the rumors from the facts, what's actually happening, what's actually passed, what's going on versus proposals and all this other talk, which let's just get straight into the facts. Let's get straight into the questions. So the first most common question I'm getting is there a second stimulus check confirmed? Didn't the second bill get passed? You might have seen a lot of people saying, new second stimulus check confirmed, passed. But yes, this is half true. The way this works is anything that needs to get passed into legislation works in three ways. Number one, it goes through the House. Number two, through the Senate. And number three, the president signs off. It's a checks and balances three-step process. So the House has approved the second stimulus check. It is within their bill that they proposed called the HEROES Act. Maybe I'll leave a link to it somewhere here because I made an entire video going over it. But basically within that bill, there is a $1,200 stimulus check. And now we are waiting on the Senate, which is controlled by the Republicans, to approve it. However, this past Monday was Memorial Day, so they've been on recess. A few of them have been working today, it's Friday, but they're all mostly coming back on Monday, June 1st. So the next most common question is, when will the second stimulus check arrive? So as you already know from the first question, the House has passed it and we are waiting on the Senate. So when the Senate gets back in on June 1st, we could expect anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks for them to look it over, make adjustments because they definitely will, they don't agree with everything, and then send it back to the House for final approval. So I would say by mid-June, it'll get sent back to the House, and by the end of June, it'll get sent to the President for signing. So hopefully by July 1st, it gets passed. If not, then we might deal with July 4th in another recess while everyone's chilling. Congress people are getting paid anyway. They're getting their paychecks and they're like, hey, I know you need help and you're suffering, but it's my day off. I can't help you. Like, that's ridiculous in my opinion. The American people are suffering right now. We're like 4 months into this pandemic and we've only gotten a $1,200 stimulus check once. This should already have been passed and out to the people by now because it's going to take a while. So if I had to put a timeline on this, I would say by mid-July all the way up until August, mid-August, late August, based on just the facts that we have here. That is the most probable time you can expect a second check if it gets passed. And I think it's a very high likelihood it will get passed, because this next question will tie that in. So the next question is, how long are unemployments going to be extended for, or does it end July 31st? So as of right now, it still ends July 31st. This person's talking about that extra $600 a week, the pandemic unemployment assistance. And as of right now, the Senate strongly disagrees with this extension because in the HEROES Act, it's proposed that the unemployment gets extended from July 31st all the way until 2021, January 31st. The Republicans do not like this. They want people going back to work. With unemployment staying out that long till 2021, people are more incentivized to stay home because, as we know, there's a lot of stories of a lot of people making more money on unemployment than they were working their regular jobs. So this will take away the incentive for people to work, which won't be good for the economy if things recover the way the Republicans see it. They're seeing a quick V-shaped recovery, just quickly everything getting back to normal. If that's the case, then it makes sense not to extend the unemployment so people get back to work and they don't just sit on their butts. But if things get worse and we are in another quarantine, then I would see the unemployment being extended even more when the government forces a shutdown. It only makes sense. But as of right now, it is very unlikely, and I think it probably won't get extended. Especially with the economy opening up again, everything slowly getting back to normal. I just went out the other day and I saw people in mobs, like shoulder to shoulder with no masks, just hanging out close like this, shoulder to shoulder. You walk by a restaurant, there's people sitting down like nothing's happening. I'm in California, so I don't know where you are, but in California, at least in Southern California, you can see people shoulder to shoulder chilling like, oh, nothing's going on. So, we'll see what happens if maybe a second wave of this sickness happens. Hopefully not. I'm praying it's gone. We'll see what happens. The next question is regarding the EIDL grants. How long are they going to be available for? Is there another EIDL grant? I did not get it the first time. Right, so the EIDL grants are still available. I made a video on that too, about $1,000 free for basically anyone who's self-employed. If you run a business, if you're an Uber driver, whatever, if you sell lemonades on the corner of your neighborhood, you run a business, you are your own employee, that's $1,000. If you have a small business with 7 employees, that's $7,000. Normally, you would go on the EIDL website. I think it's SBA Relief something. I put it in the description of that video. You go on there and you apply, and you'll immediately get your $1,000 or up to $10,000 grant. And then later on, you will get offered a loan by the EIDL. So the way it works is there's a grant and a loan. Just to be clear, you can take that grant, keep that money, you never have to pay it back, you're good. And then later you get offered a loan, you don't have to accept the loan. So if you take the grant and you don't accept the loan, that's perfectly fine. That's free money. But right now it is only open to agricultural businesses, not to everybody else. So in the meanwhile, I guess just keep checking. But if you run an agricultural business, go ahead and apply for an EIDL loan. There's already a lot of people on the queue list, a lot of people that applied way back when it was open for other businesses. So the likelihood of you getting it if you apply now is still very low, but I think it's worth applying because there was $10 billion allocated to this, and with the amount of people that have applied, it's not likely that you'll get something, but you might as well try while it's open. I mean, it's only going to cost you a couple minutes, right? If you run a business, just do it. So anyway, that's it for the EIDL grant question. Now, I want to give everybody a warning. Just because these plans are being discussed, the $450 of getting back to work, the $5,000 a month, $2,000 recovery, free rent and no mortgage cancellation, whatever, all these plans being discussed, they're just being discussed, and that does not mean they're going to happen, and they are just proposals. So always keep that in your mind. Let's talk about what has actually passed, and that is the CARES Act, the first stimulus check. And I hope most of you have received it by now, although I know a few of you still, to this day, have not received it. I've still gotten comments to this day of you not getting your first stimulus check, which is ridiculous, but hopefully you get that soon if you're supposed to get it. I mean, that's insane. But anyway, the lesson here is not to rely on the government, obviously, and always have an emergency fund of at least 6 months of your living expenses, especially now. I think a lot of people have learned during this crisis to have an emergency fund and how important that is. That way you can be self-reliant and also have other streams of income that are not just from your 9-to-5 job, maybe a passive stream of income like dividend investing. This channel is all about dividend stocks, passive income, personal finance. If you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. And don't forget to like this video if it helped you out in any way. Send it to a friend who needs clarification on everything that's going on. Hopefully this answers a lot of your questions. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.